What up, fiction fam? Welcome to Down to Read. My name's Stephen, and today got a bit of a special video where we're out on location, going to go check out a giant book sale. But before we go get ourselves some books, we got to get caffeinated. The books that we're looking for today. We're looking for a horror book. Horror books are notoriously hard to find in secondhand bookstores. Let's see if we have any more luck at this sale. I'm looking for a book of an author I haven't read before, which should be easy, considering I haven't read very much for the last 25 years. Really, the main purpose of this channel is me getting back into reading. We'll also look for an author that I have mentioned on this channel. So either in a TBR list of mine currently or from a book review, so a repeat author, and a book recommended by you in a comment section of one of my videos on this channel. And finally, this one might be a bit weird, but we're looking for any Robin Hobb books. Robin Hobb, I picked up a book of hers at a secondhand bookstore a while ago, which I thought was great find, book one of a series. But as I did a bit of Googling, I learned that it's book one, but there's about 9 other books I need to read before that to fully appreciate that book. So from now on, any secondhand bookstores, Robin Hobb, I'm picking her up. All right, let's go check it out. Giant book sale had perhaps oversold this book sale a wee bit, and for a while, it was looking like we may walk away with no books at all. And then we found the fantasy and sci-fi section tucked away in the corner, where there were a few titles I'd heard good things about. After getting a few books bagged, I calmed a bit and decided to pick up some books for the wee one at home. Then, with some Paw Patrol tucked under my arm, we were back on the hunt for at least one horror book that I wanted to read. No shade to Dean Koontz, I will give his books a try at some point. I just wasn't really feeling it on the day. I spotted a black cat hidden in the boxes down the bottom. Not sure it was the horror I was looking for, but I'd heard good things about Murakami. And then we found a horror book that for some reason just spoke to me, and we felt the hunt was complete. I guarantee none of you will pick the horror book that we picked up. We'll reveal the horror book that we picked up at the end of this video with the full book haul. Whoops, I forgot I was going to try and get a gardening book from my partner. Okay, now we are on the way out, with one final stop past a table where some other books had recently been dropped off. Okay, now it's time to go. Let's see what we got. Okay, that's a wrap. Was looking pretty slim pickings for a little while there. Then we stumbled on a few gems. Get into those in a bit. But yeah, book sale done in the books. Getting some more caffeine because that's what we do. So let's go through what we found.
That's what we do.
Alright, we got a whole bunch of books for my son. So I'm sure I'll read these books probably more than any of the other books that we found today. One thing I meant to say, and I know this is easy to say in retrospect, but I meant to say in the little start, was we were also looking for a classic today. Now, easy me to say that now that I did find and buy a classic. But that, let's say that was on the hunt list and will be on future hunt lists. And the classic that we found was Watership Down. I've heard great things about this book. Lots of people say it's a 5-star banger read. Kicking a rap about some rabbits? Yeah, that could happen soon. So looking forward to reading this one. Generally things are looking really slim till we found the sci-fi and fantasy books section. Here's where we ticked off the authors that I haven't read before. 2 big authors, we found some good books. Now some of these I think are a complete series, some of them I think are partway through the series. The ones that are partway through will add to the Robin Hobb type of spectrum of I'll just keep looking for the rest of the books in subsequent secondhand book sales and bookstores. Cool, so this one, I'm pretty sure is a big one in the fantasy genre. Raymond E. Feist, The Magician Trilogy, or I think that's what it's referred to as. I think this is all 3, complete set, so that's cool. I also like these retro style covers, some of them in slightly better condition than others, but all pretty cool. So we got Magician, got Silverthorn, and The Darkness at Sethanon. Another book where I've seen the movie actually, still in the fantasy genre. Didn't love the movie, but here the book is much better. That I've never read. Aragon.
You can fight from everywhere, even from the tail.
I want to try it.
So we'll see what that one's like. What else did we find? Still staying in the fantasy genre. Like I told you, that's where we really hit gold at this sale. After it looking pretty slow for a while, were some Steven Erikson books. I've heard great things about the Malazan series. I'm not sure if I've got book 1 or not of the Malazan series. I'll Google that after this. But if I don't, I'll just keep hunting. The Bone Hunters. Boom. Reaper's Gale. Bam. Dust of Dreams. Bang. And this one is a slightly different cover, hardcover. Not usually a big fan of hardcovers, but secondhand book sales, we'll take what we can get. We've got Toll the Hounds. Bong. So after some Googling, it seems like I've somehow picked up book 6 to 9 of the series. So definitely more hunting required before I can dive into the Malazan series. But I'm looking forward to continuing the hunt and eventually getting stuck into these bad boys. So what have we ticked off so far? We got an author I haven't read before, multiple authors in fact I haven't read before, and a classic which I snuck in retrospectively, but trust me, it should have been on the hunt list. Another thing we were looking for was a horror. Now these, like I said, are notoriously hard to find in secondhand bookstores and book sales. But I think we found some. This is what probably took us the longest. So here we go. First we got Kafka on the Shore. Not sure you'd classify this as a horror. In fact, I only know much about it from the cover and reading the blurb. But maybe a bit more of a fantasy, but let's say fantasy horror. That's what we were looking at. Seems like this one is definitely more fantasy than horror. That was our first attempt at a horror. Definitely not a horror. Then we found this guy, The Maddening. Apparently it's been made into a movie, so I assume it's pretty good. We'll see. Maybe if I like the book, I'll give the movie a go and do a bit of a comparison. If Burt Reynolds signed up to be in it, must be alright.
Pleasure is the only thing to live for.
Okay, admit it. No one saw this as the horror novel that I was going to pick up today. But I'm a sucker for horror novels, and I'm a sucker for 90s films, so yeah, this one just spoke to me.
Hi.
Okay, after doing some post-hunt research, it turns out The Maddening may not be a banger. But maybe it's time to read and review a book on this channel that isn't good. And name another booktube channel in 2025 that's brave enough to do a review of The Maddening. Go on. I'll wait. And then we were ready to go, we were checking out, and actually just before we got that, one thing we also got a gardening book for my partner. Not on the hunt, but it's always nice to buy things for other people, especially when they give me the time to go out and do these hunts. Okay, we thought we had the horror ticked, the author I haven't read before ticked, the classic ticked, classic, yeah, okay, retrospective. And we were just thinking, okay, that's probably it. But then we noticed this little table out the front, and we were wondering, are these books being put aside, or for other people, or are these still for sale? And they're for sale. And we found ourselves some books that ticked off 2 of the hunt items, because we got ourselves some Stephen King and Owen King in this particular circumstance, but this ticks off the author I have read before and done a review for already on the channel. Check out The Stand book review already on the channel. And this one, I'm pretty sure it looks a bit fantasy-esque on the front, but I think it's a bit of maybe a fantasy horror. But if this one isn't horror, I'm pretty sure this one is. Again, I don't know much more about it. I just know that everyone, when I posted my book review on The Stand, was saying, go check out some more Stephen King. Now, neither of these I think are any of his big books, but in a way that appeals more to me, checking some of the lesser-known Stephen King novels to see what I think of them before jumping more into some of the really popular ones. Okay, maybe this one's going to be more fantasy than horror, and maybe this one's going to be more romance than horror. But let's not forget, we still ticked off that horror checkbox with this bad boy, The Maddening. Okay, that's it. That's the book hunt complete. Pretty good stack. Pretty happy with this one, especially for our first book hunt. We'll just keep developing these. If there's some things you'd like to see more, perhaps more shots in the sale, maybe some commentary while we're actually looking for the books. One thing people might be interested in is how much did this all cost? This all came to about $31 Australian, so pretty happy with that. $31 Australian, can't complain about that. Really good price, really good stack of books. Thanks for watching. Zhoosh.